I'll keep you. Okay, everybody. Oh, it's like 1 hour late, and I'm happy to introduce Doug from Jamul. Correct? Is that where you're from, Doug?
No, it's pronounced Jamul with an H. It's Spanish. It's Spanish word. J is pronounced like an H, and I'm about 40 minutes from the Mexican border.
Excellent.
Where are you at?
So I am in the state of Maine. Yes.
Oh my God, you got Susan Collins.
Now that came up recently because of the Trumpy new EPA is doing opening up the entire waters off the coast of Maine to drilling, and Collins is against that, Doug.
Yeah, well, she's not a real Republican. I don't know what she thinks she is. You guys can have her. We don't want her. She's a stain on the Republican Party. She's never been a Republican. In fact, she voted with Hillary Clinton when Clinton was a senator over 63% of the time. So, she is not a Republican in any sense of the word. I don't know why she even wants to have an R by her name, but she gives Republicans a bad name.
And she's incredibly powerful. She's the one who always...
And people but me, as far as said, Maine is really heavy relied on the federal government and federal dollars, I hear. So her constituency seems to be dependent on the federal government on many levels. So that's why when I listen to her, I see her on Facebook or on Twitter. God, the people that are talking to her, they're all Democrats, and I can't believe the opinions and the positions they're on, talking to her, and which she is coming back with all these, democratic socialist policies. It's just mind-boggling. I think she should be banned. Susan Collins should be removed from all her committee assignments, leadership positions in the Senate, and she should just be put back, sit in a corner, and go back to her office, because she gives she is. Think about this. Think about this for a second. She is really the true Senate majority leader in the Senate, because it's the tyranny of minority that's working in the Senate right now. And her vote is so important, and it sways the Republican majority, that she's really the leader. So if it if it can't get past Susan Collins, it ain't gonna fly.
So you mentioned, I agree with you on a lot of what you said, although it's kind of ironic. You mentioned the federal government giving her the money. Well, I guess one of those is the shipbuilding yard, Bath Iron Works, and building destroyers. And so you feel, I guess, that you're against all of this federal money being spent on weapons of war, right, Doug? You like it. So you must love Susan Collins, Bob. No, you get a little confused, don't you?
In there, that's just one example.
Sorry. What are these federal programs, Doug?
We're talking about social programs, social welfare programs, handouts, benefits.
Well, that's not the money.
That's what we're talking about. Building warships for the nation is something that our Constitution says we're supposed to have a Navy. It says about limits on a standing army. So we have abandoned that a long time ago. But I would be for limits on the standing army. I mean, I don't think we should have a standing army in peacetime. I think that we should, right now, we can have special forces and make the best Navy on the planet the way things work now. And we can just lay off the coast and bomb the crap out of these shithole countries.
Yeah, another thing we have in Maine. So I still don't get, I'm not really sure what money you're saying that Maine gets more than other states from the federal government. What are you talking about, and where are those figures? Where do you get this idea from? Just heard it?
I didn't say more than any. See, kind of like, I think you kind of filter things out. You have this progressive filter. I said get federal dollars. I didn't say more. They're dependent. So the state is definitely dependent on federal dollars, right? And its constituency is. So from social programs, and other programs. And that's just general common knowledge when you look at it. And I'm not going to sit there.
Shipbuilding is
you're putting one example. That's just one example. It might be.
I just want to know the other examples. Like what
it would be like welfare benefits.
Really? State of Maine is sucking all of it up. I just want to get those numbers. Where the numbers come from that you're referring to?
I think Maine's too white. We should take some of those those poor black people from the South that are bringing down the red states that you all talk about, and just ship them up to Maine and make Maine more diverse and have more share the welfare burden. And just have them straight go up to Maine. What about that? Let's take care of that. Of course, I'm being facetious, Jimmy. I'm being facetious. I'm being facetious. Geez, don't take me serious all the time. Everything comes out of my pie hole is not written in stone. All right.
Well, you're on the Jimmy Reefer Cake channel, and you were late, so I'm trying to recover from a lot of anger I went through.
I'm sorry. That was a total brain fart on my part. So I just totally apologize, and everybody that did show up, I'm sorry about that. I just, for some reason, it must have been a Freudian slip or something about 6 o'clock in the morning here, because that's still dark. It's real dark at 6 o'clock in the freaking morning.
Yeah, I hear you, man. So I believe in second chances, and
of course, you're a progressive. You have to believe in second chance. You probably believe in 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 second chances.
Exactly. So what do you think about mandatory minimum sentences for, this is just stuff that's coming out. I don't know. I'm not like I'm trying to pinpoint you on any gotcha topics. This is just what's going on now, right? Mandatory minimum sentences, Jeff Sessions. Let's just start with that. And then we can move on to marijuana.
Okay. Then I'll throw something at you after that. I'll give you 2 or 3. Then it's my turn. We're gonna have a quid pro quo here. Quid pro. Blah, 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 6 fucking clock.
But I'm
anyways. Yeah. Okay. So there's a great book. I for some of it depends on the crime. But I'm one of those people that believe there's way too many laws. Way too many laws. There's a great book out called I know you should read it. It's called 3 Felonies a Day.
Yeah. And
it's basically about, it has to do with black crime too, which I'm kind of on that position. I think there's way representative of blacks in the criminal justice system. Yeah. Part of it's due to their own culture. Part of it's also due to the system. It's complicated, but the book 3 Felonies a Day describes how you can walk out your door. You, me, anyone in America, you can just walk out their door, just go to work or whatever, go to the ball game, and you can commit 3 felonies a day and not even know it, because there's so many freaking laws. There's so many laws, especially California. There's so many laws. Jerry Brown has signed into law since he's been governor this last time. Over 1,613 laws. Yeah. And how many people know what those laws are? Very little. I just found out a couple of those laws. You talk minutes and sentences, but a couple of those laws I was actually agreeing with. But most of it is crap. Like, there's no more jaywalking in California. So you can't, they're going to ticket you for jaywalking anyways. So, but there's no jaywalking now. It's not illegal in California to jaywalk. Also, what's a good law, what's good, this is what I like, and you might like this, is that employers could no longer ask prospective employees about their employment history, because they say that is used as a tool to regulate and depress someone's salary based on their past employment salary history. So that's a law. Employers can't ask how much you made before, how was your salary. Which is a good thing. I think that's a good. The other goofy thing.
Well, you should lie. I think you should lie if they ask. You should say, make up a number.
The other thing is marijuana. I'm full. I'm totally libertarian on pot. I don't think we should be busting pot. You let people
let's just snap right to it. Then you agree, because mandatory minimums are just an extra law on top of the laws that are already there. Just saying, hey, all of a sudden, we're a bunch of fucking douchebag congressmen, and we're going to solve the drug issue by slapping another abusive law on top of the already abusive set of laws. And okay,
that are already ignored anyways.
Right. My job, and they're like, my job is done. And then I agree. There's way too many laws. Like, how about the Lucy selling a loose cigarette being a law? That's just like
the guy from New York. Was that Eric Gardner that got choked out?
Yes,
yeah, that was stupid. That was so they're hunting this guy down, right? Hunting this guy down, and had enforced this law because he was selling like single cigarettes. Oh my God! And then he died for it. That's stupid. Whether he was partially responsible for it or not, that's the fact that they were going after him for selling single cigarettes. It just boggles my mind. And so that's the kind of stuff that we have to get rid of. That's the kind of stuff we should be agreeing on, you know, as a group, as Americans, you know. But then there's the other things. But the marijuana laws here. I told some certain people that are working in the defense industry, this is the best thing that ever happened to you. Marijuana growing, you know, free pot being decriminalized in California is the best thing that ever happened to you. Your stock just went up because you have to stay sober. People get ahead. Stoners don't. The more stone you get, the less productive you are. It affects your brain. It's all there. I don't care about recreational use. Okay. Wrong. But I don't know if you want to smoke it once in a while, but people kind of abuse it. I'm just saying the people that stay sober are going to move ahead. And
I think that's a statement you make falsely. Like the guy Steve Jobs, right? And he very successful. And you could go on a long list. I mean, I know people.
He wasn't a stoner. He wasn't getting stoned every day.
Sure, he was. He's doing
every day. Steve Jobs was getting stoned.
Okay, well, I'll just tell you straight up from personal experience that I mean, I mean, are you familiar with a lot of successful people, whether it be in entertainment? Those are the ones you see a lot. You're telling me that like Snoop Dogg is not a successful guy and not a talented.
You're talking about exceptions. Those are not people that have to work in normal jobs that have. You're talking exceptions. Well, you're not somebody that people have to go to normal jobs, Jimmy. They actually have to go to normal jobs and get normal paychecks. Somebody has to sign their paycheck, and it's usually a rich guy. It's never been a poor guy signing their paychecks.
And what if the rich guy's the stoner?
Those rich guys actually want their employees to be sober at work. I'm just reaching here. I'm just reaching here, Jimmy. But I think they want to be sober at work.
Well, sober is important, but not necessarily. I'll move on from that topic. The point is performance. Let's just say you make a statement. If you don't mind me having the final word on this topic, you make a statement that says that you think this is true for all people. My statement that I make, maybe, and I'm saying that's wrong. Maybe you still believe that's true. So this is why it's a final word, if you don't mind. Okay.
Well, I got to say one thing after that, because that's not what I say. You guys kind of take this all and stuff when you use a plural,
compare it.
When you put it to
what I'm saying here.
When you put an S after like progressives, it just means more than one. It doesn't mean all. When I say Mexicans, it doesn't mean all Mexicans or all Haitians. It just means
okay. Well, then as long as you say that, that seems interesting. Like that you just basically back down what you said before, which is fine with me then. So I don't got to say anything else.
Okay.
There are a lot of exceptions to the rule, and I think we both agree. Performance measurement on the if you want to be a good boss, you want to be a good rich guy, you're going to want to make the most money by measuring performance, my friend. You're not going to worry about what the fuck the guy does at night, or even if he does it during the day. If he's making you money, who gives a fuck? That guy has performance. So that's it. You don't got to say anything else, dude. We agree. All right.
Okay,
and this is that's my topic. Okay, so I win on that one always.
All right. Okay,
that's a rule. Okay, because you obviously don't know. You don't know. Okay, buddy. So let's move on to something else. Trumpy. Okay. You love Trump. You think Trump's great.
Wait, don't I get to ask? Don't I get to throw in one?
Talking points? No, as long as we're switching topics, because I'm not going to hear another word of any putting down pot on my channel. Okay, Bob? So just roll on. You got that right. You got that right, dude. So go on to the next topic. That's right. That's right. Go ahead, Doug.
Okay.
What do you got, big boy? What do you got?
Let's talk about shithole.
Okay, shithole. Cool.
Okay. Have you ever been to any shitholes?
Well, Jamaica seemed like parts of it were pretty rough.
Come on, you can say it was a shithole.
No, man.
Oh, you can't say a ball. You probably said it right when whoever you went with. Man, look around. It smells like shit.
There's shitholes in Baltimore. There's shitholes
they're mostly
everywhere.
run by Democrats. Every single city
there's shitholes in LA.
Shithole in LA, and they're all run by. How come all the shitholes in America are run by Democrats? Name one Republican large city that's a shithole. Name one.
I just think all of these cities like Baltimore is a great city.
Can't do it. So
but it has bad areas.
You can't name one Republican large city that's a shithole. You can't do it. But you can name all these Democrat-run large cities that are shitholes. Baltimore, LA, Chicago.
No, I never said the cities were a whole city was a shithole. I said there are parts of these different areas.
The point is, it's slang. It was in private conversation. We used the words like that all the time. I was in the Navy. You know, I was in the Navy. I don't know. You know, I was in the Navy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 20 years. I had 7 Western deployments.
Daddy's playing guitar.
Yep, I'm playing guitar.
No.
Is that your kid?
This is the youngster.
Oh, well, good.
Say hi.
Hi. That's a real kid. That's not some like sound.
Oh, he's strumming at it now.
Oh. Hey. Anyways, I've been to.
Daddy, it's working.
Hey, go to mommy. Yeah, I'm doing some work.
Are you raising?
Oh, you drew.
Is that a girl?
No, it's a boy.
Are you raising him to be a hippie?
No. I mean, that's not that wouldn't be what I would describe. No, man, but raising him real good, buddy. Don't you worry about that. Let's keep on with what we're shithole. Oh, see, I just say bad words in front of my kids. Thanks a lot, Doug. No,
I'm a bad influence.
Shithole is, I agree.
Anyways, I'm going to tell you that I always had 12 years of sea duty, 7 deployments. I've been to a lot of shitholes around the world. Karachi, Pakistan. I've been to Mombasa, Kenya. I actually been to Olongapo, Philippines, and they actually have a river called Shit River, and it's literally an open sewage river of shit, and you have to cross it. You have to cross over the bridge of the shit river to get into the city of Olongapo from the Navy base. So I've been to real shitholes, and everybody knows it. And so for Trump to say that, what's worse is that rat Durbin. I mean, come on. What he did was a rat fink. If anybody did that to you, if you're in your house and you had somebody over, a group of people, and you're talking and you're just lighting things up and you're taking it, and then all of a sudden, and they use what you said in private and went out, oh, that's what Jimmy Reefercake said in his house while you're smoking some pot.
Right.
And you would be pissed off. You probably wouldn't invite that person over to your house anymore. And so that's what Durbin did. And he did it all for political reasons. He didn't care how divisive it was. He didn't care what
who is Durbin? Is that another Republican guy?
You never heard the term Senator Durbin from
Michael Durbin?
No, Senator Durbin from Illinois.
Okay. What is he? Is he a Republican?
No, he's a Democrat. He's worse than Hillary.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think your point on the shithole is well taken and correct. That it seems crazy to me. We don't mind bombing. Like, we can bomb the shit out of a country, turn it into a shithole with our bombs, and that's no big deal. But if you say shithole in that slang way, I mean, I just didn't. It's not what I would say. But Trump says shit like that all the time. And what they do, it's very annoying to me, is it's very distracting. They always come up with, oh my God, and everyone on the news, like Don Lemon, and like they have these emotional tirades about what Trump said. It's like, give me a fucking break, man.
I'm glad you feel that way, because that's what normal people think. Normal people think like that. You know, only the progressive elites in the media, especially that batshit crazy woman Anna Novato, whatever her name is, the Latino nutcase, the Latina nutcase on CNN who hates Trump, who's supposedly be a Republican. Have you ever seen her?
I do not. The only time I ever see or hear is from the Majority Report, like a clip. I don't actually watch the shows enough to know, but like anytime I do, I get the same feeling of just this is a total fake. And even every show is fake, but at least if you're listening to something on YouTube, you get that sensation of like, I'm not just supporting the big monster, I'm supporting a smaller monster. Or whatever, right? At least it's like you can spread it around and interact more, make yourself part of the thing. I feel like I'm a sheep if I ever watch any of those shows for more than I watch it and I immediately find something bad to say about it and then change the channel. So I can't really last. If I'm on a trip or something, I might turn it on a hotel room, but it's never on in my house. So I don't know.
Well, I watch it because I watch all of them and I keep an open mind about it. I'm pretty objective, I think. And I like to watch it just to see how objective they really are, and they're really not. And all the data shows how they're 93% hate Trump and in the negative. That's all true, and so you have to take it with a grain of salt. And I watch it because I get some of the news. It's fun to watch, but it is what it is. It's what our media is. It's part of the American culture now. And,
yeah.
So we have to live with this. Anyways, next topic is Oprah.
Okay.
What do you think about Oprah?
She's like a great businesswoman. She did good to her own brand, and that's about it. She's not running for president. No, she said she wasn't, I think. So that's good.
You know, it's illegal to say anything bad about Oprah.
Yeah, I know that.
They'll come and get you.
Well, if I could say something bad about her, I don't know, man. Can't. I used to watch the show when I was little, like, on the TV, the daytime show from time or whatever it was.
Did you hear me say I fear Oprah to Sam?
Yes, yeah, man.
That's true. I guess that was true. That's absolutely true. I fear she is the one person that could beat Trump, and the DNC establishment is against her. Won't let her. The Senator Harris's, Bernie, crooked Hillary.
Yeah.
They're that establishment. Ellison, what's that? Tony Perez is running the DNC now. They don't want her to run. They got all these people that they're supposed to be lined up. These little Democratic socialists they want to run, and they don't want some billionaire woman coming in and just taking over the show. It's the same thing that what Trump did to the GOP. They didn't want him. Jeb Bush didn't want him. He was the establishment. He was supposed to be the Republican nominee, Jeb Bush, and he had all that money, so much more money than Trump. And he couldn't beat Trump because of the message. It's the message, the Make America Great Again message. But Oprah could actually win. And that's what's scary, because I've talked to some professional women who voted for, were liberals that have voted for Trump, and they would vote for freaking Oprah. And they have to take that seriously. And they would do it just because she's Oprah. And that amazes me, and that means I would say that on a national level, that's dangerous, and she could do it. So a lot of things would have to change between now and then, but I don't see the DNCs just stepping aside and letting Oprah become their nominee. Can you imagine the primary process? What do you think a debate between Oprah and, say, Bernie or Senator Harris or Corker from is it Corker?
Yeah.
What do you think that's going to be like? It's amazing.
Like one thing you said is, to me, Oprah versus the Trump is like the same monster type of thing, and I just think Oprah would be nice, a little better. But what I think the problem is, like, Democrats aren't going to win because of the divides that you see if you listen to the Majority Report. Like, do you listen a lot to it? to the
I
majority.
used to listen a lot, but I stopped listening to it all. It kind of, I don't know. I don't know if Michael Brooks will listen to this, but most of the time, Michael, if you listen, I love you to death. I've said this to him before. He sounds way too much like PBS, and he can get into this PBS boring mode, and he just bores the shit out of me. I like him. He's better with Sam when they're working as a team. But
yeah, he's better with the comedy and stuff.
Right. But as standalone, no, he's just too boring to listen to. Sam can get repetitive because I don't want to listen to progressive propaganda all day long or a lot because it's all over the freaking television. It's on the all late night. It's all late night. It's all late night comedy shows. There's not one late night comedy show that is considered objective now. They're all progressive propagandists. Greg Gutfield's show only comes on Saturday, and it's only for an hour. It's one show, and it's funny. Yeah. It's really funny. It's good to watch. But I can't even watch. I can't watch the late night comedy shows anymore. None of them. I can't watch any of them. And I sure don't watch the Daily Show. I don't watch that stuff because I don't need to be bombarded with progressive propaganda. And so that's what that I just can't stand it. And so I get enough of it.
I hear you. So I guess I only asked because I was wondering if when you describe, do you notice the difference, like how that Sam versus Jimmy Dore? Do you remember that argument?
Yeah. And guess what? In some aspects, Sam was right. I was paying attention to that, and I first got listening to Jimmy Dore. I like some of Jimmy Dore's stuff now. He's getting more objective. He's trying to be, he's still progressive, but he's trying to be more projective, which is hard to do. Objective, which is hard to do when you're a progressive, because it takes a very high level of subjectivity to be progressive. You have to put these blinders on, and you're like this. This is the progressive view right here. This is it.
I think it's kind of like that, but actually the problem is that there's a bunch of different people with blinders on, and they're not even seeing the same obvious things that like Hillary Clinton, like all the people who supported Hillary Clinton and put down Bernie, they're still doing that. Like that whole wing of the party is diametrically opposed. Like, I think the difference and the reason we lost and we will continue to lose, if I say we, because obviously if I had to pick one side or the other, it's not going to be the Republican. But you can tell that I'm not that hot on the Democrats. I'm not hot on Hillary. I don't know if you listened to the songs when you were listening. Then I would often shoot at Hillary just as much as Trump, maybe Trump a little more. So basically,
I did notice that you seemed like an odd ball to me for the progressive. In fact, when I listen to you, you have a lot of libertarian views, and there's a lot of stuff you have in common with the Republican Party, the constitutional wing of the Republican Party. Not all Republicans are constitutionalists.
So this is the funny thing, is how you Republicans are able to unite despite this diametrically opposed. If you think of the Republicans who are like anything bigger military, no matter what. Right. Let's just face it. That's one part of the Republican Party. And at the same time, they have another part that's libertarians. And you still can manage to support a guy like Trump, come together. Now, on the other side,
come together.
Yes. Unbelievable. And we only have a few more minutes. This is my last real point, is that unbelievably, even with as much as pissed off as they get about Trump and the emotional tirades, they can't get their heads together to realize we need to have a libertarian strain crossing over right into the Democrats. It'll allow us to reach the middle as well as other things. So that's my final point. Doug, I know you don't really care, do you? You just want to beat the Democrats, right? No matter what. Or do you like what I'm saying? You like how I want to?
I like what you're saying, but to me, you're not a typical progressive or a Democrat right now. You're like, there's very few of your ilk in the Democratic Party, in the Congress, or in the DNC now, or on the national stage. It's just not there. You seem reasonable. To me, most Democrats on the national stage are not reasonable. They're not objective. But let's get this clear. I've said this before. I'm not a libertarian. I believe a libertarian utopia is just as unattainable as a socialist one. So we should be striving to meet the republicanism of the Constitution. And so I'm going to say this to you one last time. Oh, I like to, since you think you want to go, but chew on this for a while and see if you can answer this question, because I answered when I
got
first joined.
A few more minutes, man.
Okay. I said this to Matt Bender when I first came on MR way back when. What is the ideology of the Constitution and what is it called?
The ideology of the you probably, I guess the answer is it's a republic, right? I don't know.
No, republic is not an ideology.
The ideology of it.
What is it's in the what is the ideology of the Constitution and what is it called?
I don't know. I really can't, you know.
You know what?
It's a hard question. It's
right. You know how many people, not even Republicans, can answer? Only a few Republicans are able to answer that question. I haven't had a progressive yet. I haven't had a progressive yet that could answer because they don't think that way. If they've been taught not to think that way. And you have to understand the Constitution. It's not written down in a book. It's not somewhere some professor can tell you. You have to understand what the Constitution is and read it and understand it. And then it comes to you. And the ideology of the Constitution is limited government with enumerated powers, and it's called republicanism. It's not.
Oh, I pretty much got it because I said republic.
Yeah, republic.
I knew where you were going.
You can have an Islamic republic.
Right.
The republicanism of the Constitution is nothing like Sharia law. So you have to be specific. I'm specifically referring to our Constitution. That's limited government with enumerated powers. That's what it is.
Yeah. So for Sessions, states' rights being overturned because he wants to chase around people who grow and smoke a plant. A plant which, by the way, you have a much worse view than I do about this plant. I actually think it can unlock potential in people and improve abilities.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Knock yourself out.
If you get the right strain. But the thing is, in the Constitution, in the Constitution, I'm allowed to do that. The Constitution was written on hemp.
I will. I'm with you. I'm with you.
So that is the insanity of the Republicans.
There's a little constitutional quiz here. Who actually penned and inked the Constitution? Actually wrote it down in pen and ink during the Constitution 1787 Constitutional Convention. Who's the actual person that actually penned and inked the Constitution? Because it's important.
Are you crazy? I don't know. John Adams.
No.
It's your fucking whoever.
I'll give you a hint. He was a delegate from Pennsylvania with Ben Franklin. His name was Gouverneur Morrison, and he penned and inked it. And the reason why that's important, because on the last day of the Constitutional Convention, they wrote out the powers and responsibilities of the Supreme Court. That's why, and that's why it was considered the weakest branch of government. Yeah. Now, just Congress, the people's branch is the weakest. The most powerful branch of government is the Supreme Court. An unelected 9 people in black robes. They're unelected and they're the most powerful. They took the final say of the Constitution for themselves in 1803 and never brought it back with Marbury versus Madison. And they took it. They
just focusing in though, because we might as well really get this. I just want you to know, in the state of Maine, we're legalizing weed recreationally, and the governor, Republican, where it got a set of rules together to go, and this is true in not just the state of Maine, but you better check out the fact that in Maine, all the Democrats have lined up in support to make this push forward so we can get the taxes, the benefits rolling in, get people, making money in a free economy, a tourism economy, a huge benefit. So, Governor LePage, he said he was going to take down the sign that said the way life should be and put up open for business. But now that the people have voted for this and the laws are getting drafted up, he's holding progress back. He won't sign it. He's vetoing it. All the Democrats have lined up to do it. the only ones. The reason we can't get the supermajority is all Republicans.
Well, I'm against that. I seen that guy, and some of the stuff I don't like about him. I think he's a big fathead. A lot of the time.
Yeah,
yeah, and I don't really, he seems like an arrogant shithole to me. But he has some principles. But I don't know how. I don't agree with that. If you guys want to smoke pot and legalize marijuana, that's the whole part of federalism. The whole idea of federalism is the states. They're supposed to be these little incubators of democracy. And if something doesn't work, it fails at the state level. It doesn't have to be pushed out to the whole union. We seem to be forgetting that. And we seem to be forgetting that. If California wants to go to freaking single payer, or Vermont or Maine, let them do it. Let them bust. Let them go bust. Let them fail or succeed.
Who knows?
You're not supposed to push it. You're not supposed to push it out on the whole union and force it and on the whole union. And that's this governor is losing that aspect. And anyways, we lost the culture wars. Conservatives lost the culture war. It's done. Progressives won it. I never thought social conservatism should be a political movement. I think it should be a personal lifestyle choice, not a political movement, because that's not where we're at. And we're not there. And to harp on these type of things, pot or even gay marriage, I'm against gay marriage. I think because it's didn't go about being legalized right. It should have went to the Constitution. A court shouldn't have done it. Anyways,
yeah, it's crazy. The gay marriage.
I believe in legal unions. I think a marriage should be one between one man and one woman. But I don't mind if a state wants to legalize, a specific state wants to legalize it or not. But now the court forced. That's not how it's supposed to work. We don't see. I'm afraid of having a constitutional convention of states, and a lot of Republicans are saying that because I don't trust progressives because they don't understand the Constitution, right? They do understand it, but they reject it. And
isn't it funny that I say the same thing about Republicans? I don't trust
them.
They don't
line up
either.
Well, depends on what you think, how you do it.
The issue, depending on the issue, but in the issue,
well, we lined up. This in our conversation here. We lined up a lot.
Yeah, but not the ones in office. That's all.
This was the problem with progressives, or even I found with the Trump supporters, because I came about Trump jumped on the Trump bandwagon in November of 15. I was originally for Ted Cruz. Till I started going to Trump rallies, and I saw the ground root level. I saw blacks, Hispanics, women, all these people at these Trump rallies, and it totally blew away the narrative what the progressive media was saying. Totally blew it away. It was a complete lie because I saw it at the ground level. And we Trump supporters now can be like a cult, just like progressives. That means you have to agree 100%. If you have to agree 100% of the time, 100% of the time on everything, you're not a movement. You're a cult. You belong to a freaking cult. And I think now the cult is the cult of Bernie. And so you got to agree with Bernie on everything. Otherwise, you're not in the cult. You're out. And some of the Trump supporters are saying you got to agree with everything. Trump can do no wrong. He does so many stupid things. The shit comment was stupid. It wasn't racist. But it was stupid. Like saying the stuff about McCain. That was stupid. He's said a lot of stupid things. But what he's done on the big things is great. Black unemployment record dropped 10 points. It was 16.8 under Obama. It's now 6.8 under Trump. 1 year. Black home ownership, historic levels.
Nice. Tweet those factoids to me so I can look at those numbers.
Okay, this is true. I double checked this. This is good stuff in 1 year. The stock market, the Dow, 25,500 and almost 25,600 points. That's unheard of. And when I told Sam about faith, that's true because a lot of the market is driven on faith. If they believe that the government is going to work for business and not hinder them, the businesses are going to invest in their companies. They're going to spend money and they're going to spread it around. That's the free market system. If they don't have faith, they think the government's going to take their money. They're going to hide their money. They're going to hoard their money, and they're not going to be so friendly with their money. And that works to the employees. They're not going to give employees bonuses. We got bonuses for Walmart. We got bonuses for AT&T. We got all private sector bonuses, not government bonuses. That's like taking one hand, feeding one hand from Peter to Paul. You heard that, Peter. So this is private sector, and that's what's good. And it's just 1 year. And so this is, like I said, we're going to get Trump tax refund checks. We're going to get money back, actual money in our paychecks. And so,
nice.
And you're going to see it.
I would like money.
And
money sounds good.
And you're going to see it in your check, even in Maine. I don't know what you do, but you're going to see it.
Yeah. And hopefully we will not see, which Obama unleashed. I know you don't like Obama. He unleashed raids on medicinal facilities in California. He raided. Yeah. Do you remember that? I don't know.
Well, you're really big on this pot thing. It's pretty funny.
Well, it's fun. It's kind of this is what I'm going to tell you now. Is that
Jimmy Reefer cake? Now I get it.
It's pretty amazing to me, and I've been doing this for years now, and I'm never going to stop being even outraged. And that's kind of why when I started bugging Sammy on his show, it was, you don't think that the pot issue is important? Can you add up numbers? Do you know how to count? Can you count, motherfucker? Do you see how many bodies are in prison? Go ahead, count them. Do you see how much time, how many hours police are spending? Count those hours.
Yeah.
Do you know how to add up money?
Yeah, it's stupid.
So this is the thing that gets me, is that like they joked about me 10 years ago. They joked about me. And then guess what? It's not so funny anymore, is it? Yeah, it's fucking happening, baby. Because that's what I care about. Like, politics is not just fun and games. It's not just like, oh, look at me, I'm great. Look at him. That's what we see on the media. All this perception bullshit. Who looks good? I don't give a fuck. I want to win. And I'm going to win legalization through this fucking country. And thanks to you for coming on, because you agree, even though we disagree on it. I can't sit here and try to refute all you say things. You have different opinions from me, brother. I got, you know what I'm saying? Why do I have to try to refute everything? So people are probably going to say to me, Jimmy, how did you let Doug say something you said? Give me a break. I'm going to focus on, we're going to legalize weed and all the economic benefits that follow.
Hey, I was in a Trump supporter website chat yesterday, and they were talking about Jeff Sessions, AG Sessions. I brought up that AG Sessions should never have recused himself from the Russian probe. What do you think would happen?
Yeah.
They went ballistic on me.
Yeah. How dare you?
They were thinking that I was a progressive or the enemy or something like that. It was unbelievable. This is what I call the cult of. It's a cult.
Thank you.
It's a cult. And so I don't, AG Sessions should never recuse himself. He shouldn't be doing this shit with weed. He should be going after sanctuary cities, the border, all those other things we want, but leave the freaking potheads alone.
Yes. Hey, let's wrap it up, Doug. You've been a good guest.
This was fun for a Sunday morning.
Yeah, I hope you have a great day, man. And
you too. And take care of that girl. And I don't know what you're gonna do. What do you do in Maine? What's the weather like there right now?
It was 0 to start the day, but it's clear. I'm going outside. Gonna do some.
It's nice here in the Republic of Mool. Nice sun, and just got over. It just got over. There was a huge flu epidemic here. I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh, damn. I heard people.
I had the flu last week. Me and the whole family had the flu. It was not pretty. It was bad. It was like the cases up here was like over almost 400%. It was bad. I'm blaming it on the North Koreans.
There you go. Little anti-immigrant. We'll take it easy, Doug.
All right. Bye, Jimmy.
All the Hypocrisy Podcast, allthehypocrisy.com. Take it easy, Doug, from Jamul on Twitter.
Hamul with
a J, though. Okay. Peace.